Welcome to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a community affairs program from West Virginia Institute of Technology in Beckley, hosted by Dr. T. Ramon Stuart, president of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, working to make a difference in Southern West Virginia. Guest opinions expressed on this program may not represent the opinions of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Southern Communications, or its sponsors. And now, with today's program, here's Dr. Stuart.
Welcome to Our Communiversity Today. I'm Dr. Ramon Stuart, president of WVU Tech here in Beckley. And I'm thankful that you chose to be with us today as we explore Our Communiversity. As I say all the time, I believe the communiversity means the community is the university and the university is the community. And so I've been throughout the year trying to find creative ways to figure out how to marry those two entities together. And literally and figuratively, I've been cooking up something special. And with that, it brings me joy to have in studio Chef Devin Noor, who oversees the culinary program at WVU Tech. And one of the things I think is interesting about that is when you hear of tech, you think engineering. But we also engineer successful culinarians. So today, as we explore culinary with Chef Devin, we're going to do what we do on Our Communiversity Today all the time, is ask and answer two questions. Why not us and why not now? So right after this break, we'll be back with more Our Communiversity Today on News Talk WWNR.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Golden Bear basketball is underway, and we would love to see you courtside. Wear your gold and blue and join us for one of our many home games featuring our first-class men's and women's teams. For schedules and information, visit goldenbearathletics.com. Love sports? Come to a game, take in the action, and talk to us. Join us. Visit goldenbearathletics.com.
Grandma made no money with her website. Nothing seems to load up properly. You can say it's easy building websites, but just ask Grandma, she would disagree. Grandma called Cucumber for a website. Instead of seeing red, she's seeing green. If you're having trouble with your website, just call Cucumber and Company.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, we're visiting with Chef Devin Noor of the WVU Tech Culinary program to discuss her program and the impact it has on Southern West Virginia and beyond. Chef Devin, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. So thank you so much for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, I just got to tell you before we go too far, I am so appreciative of Chef Devin. I'm so appreciative of the young people in the program, because for those of you who have been to some events at my home that we sponsor through the university, they are the people that give you the food that you crave and rave over. So thank you so much for that continued support, Chef Devin.
Well, thank you. We enjoy having students at your home to prepare these items. It's a great experience for them.
So Chef Devin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Shady Spring, West Virginia. And so I left to go to culinary school and then came back. And I owned a restaurant for 10 years here in Beckley, and then decided to get into the education side, which still gives you the creativity. And I just want to stay here and support my community.
Yeah, I love it. One of the things I talk about all the time on Our Communiversity Today, the danger in Southern West Virginia, in my opinion, is that we always talk about coal and exporting coal and whatever, but one of the things we export disproportionately is our talent. And so for you to go coming from Shady Spring and then going to culinary school, and that was not in West Virginia, was it?
No, it was in upstate New York.
So to go from Shady Springs to upstate New York, but then want to come back here, I think that is special. What made you want to come back?
It just, nothing else feels like home. I mean, I love to travel. I love to go to all the places, but there's no place like West Virginia. And I have friends and family here, and I want to bring new things to our area, new experiences.
Yeah, and I love that. And so, to grow up and say you want to go to culinary school. If you're anything like me, I struggle with boiling water oftentimes and everything. And I tell people, I was on the cooking show one day for the TV station, and I said my number one goal was to make sure that the fire department did not have to work that day, which would have been a result of me burning down your kitchen or burning up something in your kitchen. How did you get inspired to want to be a chef?
I just come from a long line of great cooks in my family, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, and I've cooked my whole life, and that's just it's just been my dream to continue. And cooking makes everyone happy. When you prepare something delicious, you just make experiences for people, and I just love to do that.
I love it. You had a dream. You had a dream. You had role models and people that inspired you to want to cook, to enjoy to cook, to make others happy. With that dream, when did you realize that you wanted to make this dream a reality?
I think I was in high school when I decided I wanted to, pursue this professionally. There's so many opportunities in the culinary and hospitality industry that you can take your culinary degree in so many different directions. So there's just a lot of opportunities out there for culinarians and chefs.
Yeah, and so what were the reactions of people when you told them you wanted to be a chef?
I mean, a little bit shocking. My mother's from the medical background, so I know I didn't want to be in the medical background, but my parents were always encouraging to me, and they wanted me to go to the best school I could possibly go to, and they were just very encouraging. I mean, even though it's kind of especially when I went to culinary school in the 90s, it's definitely a lot more popular than it was then. So, but they've always been encouraging, and for me to pursue my dreams and to do what I'd like to do.
Yeah, I love that. And, I understand that college is not for everyone, but I do think everyone should have the opportunity to pursue their passion. And I love to hear when families and loved ones support the exploration of someone's passion, because you do not want to force anything upon people. And so I love it that your family and your mother and father, somebody I've seen numerous times, how sweet they are and dedicated to your growth and development. So you get the degree, you come back to the particular area, you run a restaurant. What was that like?
It was very challenging, as a young chef right out of culinary school. It was very challenging, but I created a lot of great relationships with customers. You learn what relationships you need to build, and you want to put out a great product, and so you want your customers coming back. So it was a really great experience that I still have fond memories of, and still run into all my old customers, and I do miss those relationships with everyone that came into the restaurant.
So tell me about the challenges.
Well, the challenges of running your own business, paying the bills, making the payroll, making sure your customers are happy, all of those things, fighting the weather, fighting the diet trends, and what happens in January when everybody goes on a diet. And so there's many challenges in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, thank goodness for January 3rd, right?
Right.
I think studies say most people that start on the 1st end by the 3rd. So thank goodness for the 3rd. And so when you face those challenges, what did you do to overcome them?
You just have to keep going and, almost reinvent yourself, come up with new things, and continue to, like we try to tell our students, build those relationships, always offer a quality product.
Just focus on really giving people the things not only they want, but the things they deserve. And so that has to make you feel good. And so after 10 years, going and running your own restaurant, having the highs, the lows, everything in between, once you go through and that is the case, you decided you wanted to do something different. What led to that epiphany that you wanted to move out of day-to-day restaurants and entrepreneurship to being in education?
Well, entrepreneurship in running your own restaurant involves many hours of work. So I kind of wanted to move away to a little more normal schedule. And so I knew that education, you can still have that creative outlet of culinary arts, and you're teaching it to others, and you still get the love of culinary arts, but without all the hours that go with running a restaurant.
Excellent. And so when you look at it, many people know that WVU Tech now occupies the footprint that Mountain State University had. And then Mountain State University used to be pretty forward thinking in actual culinary arts. And we have a $1 million plus kitchen that's located right here at 410 Neville Street that you actually conduct a culinary program out. Tell us about those facilities.
We have wonderful facilities. We have 3 kitchens. 2 are we call our savory kitchens, and then 1 is our baking kitchen. You know, we have all the wooden tables, the ovens, the mixers, all the tools that chefs need to prepare amazing dishes.
Yeah, excellent. And so when you think and you look at those multiple kitchens and stuff, when you talk about teaching culinary, is it just about being in the kitchens, or is there another component?
Oh, no, there's many components. I mean, we do spend a lot of time in our kitchens, but we also spend time in the classroom learning the terms, learning about the techniques, and then we also spend time, in events and, as well as events out in the community. So our students, get a well-rounded education.
Excellent. And so when you look at those events and that opportunity, I think you've engaged in Chili Night or Chili Fest, the Veterans Day, Cookies with Santa. How does it make you feel when you make that type of outreach through your food?
Well, it lets the community learn about our program, but also our students learn to talk to people. They learn to make those connections, and they learn to help others out in the community. So it makes me feel great to see the interaction with students.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, again in studio, Chef Devin Noor with the WVU Tech Culinary Program. We're going to take a short break, so stay tuned to News Talk WWNR for more Our Communiversity Today.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Golden Bear basketball is underway, and we would love to see you courtside. Wear your gold and blue and join us for one of our many home games featuring our first-class men's and women's teams. For schedules and information, visit goldenbearathletics.com. Love sports? Come to a game, take in the action, and talk to us. Join us. Visit goldenbearathletics.com.
Grandma made no money with her website. Nothing seems to load up properly. You can say it's easy building websites, but just ask Grandma, she would disagree. Grandma called Cucumber for a website. Instead of seeing red, she's seeing green. If you're having trouble with your website, just call Cucumber and Company.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, in studio is Chef Devin Noor, who runs the culinary program at WVU Tech. Chef Devin, you talked initially about the students and their interpersonal skills and how you're developing more than just culinarians and stuff. And so you've been with the program how many years?
I've been there 5 years.
5 years. And so in 5 years, you've had the opportunity to interact with a variety of students. I think the program is very timely. One of our guests earlier in the year was here talking about tourism and economic development. And here in Southern West Virginia, we have a $1.8 billion economic impact in terms of tourism. And so culinary fits in there. So when you think about those students that you have interacted with, the students that have come to your program and gone through your program, where have they come? Are they from West Virginia? Are they from throughout the United States or international?
Most of our students are from West Virginia, but we do have our first international student from Sri Lanka.
Okay, excellent. So you have somebody as far as Sri Lanka that is here in Beckley, West Virginia studying, but the majority of people being from West Virginia, are these Raleigh Countyans or people in Southern West Virginia, or do you find interest throughout the state?
We do have some from throughout the state, literally a little bit of everywhere. A lot from, Raleigh County and the surrounding counties, but we do have them from all over the state.
So what's the draw to the program?
Well, one thing that our program offers is that it offers West Virginia Invest Grant. So that helps a lot of our students and draws a lot of our students to the program.
So tell me more about the West Virginia Invest Grant.
Well, the West Virginia Invest Grant pays for a lot of the cost for our students. So it offers, an opportunity for students that may not be able to have the funds to come to our institution. So, that gives a lot of students the opportunity.
So you're telling me that not only do I have the opportunity to finally learn how to cook, but there's an opportunity for it to be paid for also.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. And so I think the West Virginia Invest is very important. And, it's for the different areas throughout the state where there's high demand industry. But what else are attractions to the program?
Well, I found that a lot of our students now, they don't want to leave the state. They don't want to move away. So having something like this close to home is, I think, draws them to our program.
And so with them being close to home, there is a potential way to fund it through West Virginia Invest and different things. How long does it take to get the degree?
Our degree is 2 years.
And so I think that's a very important thing because some people think everything associated with a college degree is 4 years. And so you can take somebody fresh out of high school or somebody looking for a career change and in 2 years give them the skills and in some instances for free to be culinarians. And so do you find that you have more, as we like to say, traditional students, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, or do you find more non-traditional students that come to the program?
Right now, I would say we have more traditional students, but we have had a few non-traditional students. And we've also had some non-traditional, you would say, that have been auditing courses. They just come in, they want to take a few cooking courses. And so that's been a great addition to the program.
So when you talk about auditing, obviously you got cooking courses. Are there any other courses that maybe a listener who may want to have a specific skill or so? Are there other courses that people can come in and audit?
Well, we do offer a sanitation course, the ServSafe course, if anybody's interested in taking something like that. We offer restaurant management, some cost control courses, and also some culinary math courses.
Excellent. And so that's an opportunity to acquire a specific skill. And I know through the acquisition of those skills, people have the opportunity to enhance their restaurant. And I know at one point you were working with Chef Paul Smith, a James Beard, at one point finalist, but then recipient. And so you get that experience. And now with experience in mind, tell us a little bit more about the program, the students. What are they doing? You talked about some of the things they learn. What do they do with what they're learning?
Well, every day we come in, we spend about 3.5 to 4 hours in lab. Students prepare, if they're in culinary classes, they're preparing stocks and sauces and soups and things. And they're also preparing, it depends on what course we're in. They could be preparing international dishes, American regional dishes. We also have baking courses that students are making croissants and different breads and pastries. And students get to eat these, and they get to take them home and or hand them out all over campus. So,
yeah, that's certainly one of the great things when I'm over at 410 Neville Street and I smell you all cooking up something good in the kitchen. I always have to come sample. They say you must inspect what you expect. So I enjoy inspecting your goods. So when they learn those skills and they learn and they complete their degree, then what's next? What's next for somebody with a culinary degree?
Well, there's so many opportunities. I mean, our students during the program go through an internship process, so they can pretty much choose where they'd like to go for their internship. So that's an experience. A lot of them go back to the places where they interned, and that could be places like Nemacolin, hotels. A lot of them work in restaurants, bakeries, the Greenbrier, places like the Sporting Club. We have students that are working there. Cruise ships. You can work for restaurant and development in large companies. There's so many opportunities. Food sales, food photography. There's so many things that people can do with a culinary and hospitality degree.
I love it, that experience you give. And one experience you talked about is working with Nemacolin. Nemacolin, Maggie Hardy, some people may know of 84 Lumber, but that's the Hardy family. But their hospitality arm is Nemacolin, and Maggie Hardy actually went to West Virginia University. And so tell us a little bit more about that work and experience with Nemacolin.
Nemacolin has been, such a blessing and so much fun for our students. They every spring, our students go to Nemacolin. They get to stay there and they compete with the chefs all around the resort. They compete against each other. And they win different prizes. They win some scholarships. And it's a great experience for them. And
when you talk about some of the things that they compete for or whatever, what are some of those items? What can a student in the WVU Tech program that competes in the Nemacolin cooking competition, what can they win?
Oh, they can win a scholarship to WVU, another program online in their hospitality program to, continue their degree for 2 more years. So that is like the grand prize. Now, last year, a student also won a trip to New York City to eat at a Michelin-star restaurant. So that was
5-star Michelin restaurant. And so now, did you get to go?
I did.
Tell us about it. Just tell us about it real quick.
It was unbelievable and amazing and a really great experience. It was an all plant-based menu, which I never, so many things they can do with plants. And it was generally an amazing experience. Yes.
Excellent. And so when you think, and I love it, I talk all the time about the glow on guest face. And you think about a young lady from Shady Springs going all the way up to upstate New York to then come back and have a restaurant, to then move over to teaching the next generation of culinarians, to even you having that 5-star Michelin restaurant experience and being wowed by it. How does it make you feel when you expose your students to these opportunities?
I'm just very blessed to be able to do that. It makes me, very excited to share everything I can with students.
And so through that sharing and everything, tell me one of your most memorable moments. One of those times where you met a student where he or she was and helped them go places they never dreamed of.
I can't really pinpoint one particular student, but just seeing when students really enjoy whatever it is, if it's the baking class, if it's that makes me think of something. So I have students that come in and they say, oh, I don't like to bake. I don't really like it at all. And then once they finish the baking class, they're like, I really love to bake. And that's like, they're really excited about it. And so I guess opening the eyes of students to new things that maybe they don't think they're very good at.
And, that makes me think of a student got a actual bachelor's degree at West Virginia University in business administration. Her family owns restaurants locally, and she came back and wanted to open her own restaurant. And not only did she do that at the Uptown Dish, she also is a student in the Culinary program at WVU Tech. And just recently, she shared with me that she learned things about baking and stuff that she never thought she would want to do. And Chef Devin, that is thanks to you. And so thank you for your leadership and your dedication to the program, which is growing. You've just added another faculty member. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, in studio with Chef Devin Noor of the Culinary program at WVU Tech. We're going to take a short break, so stick with News Talk WWNR as we close out this edition of Our Communiversity today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride at Pendleton Community Bank. Our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Grandma made no money with her website. Nothing seems to load up properly. You can say it's easy building websites, but just ask Grandma, she would disagree. Grandma called Cucumber for a website. Instead of seeing red, she's seeing green. If you're having trouble with your website, just call Cucumber and Company.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity today. I want to thank our guest today, Chef Devin Noor, a little lady from Shady here in southern West Virginia that went on to upstate New York to get a culinary degree. I want to thank her for sharing her not only knowledge, but her talent with those of us here in southern West Virginia. But I also especially want to thank her for her willingness to help others gain something that she had to go out of state to get right here. And I think that's so important because, again, as we think about what we need here in southern West Virginia, I say this all the time, we do not need a handout. We oftentimes simply need a hand up. And when we have the ability to engage in world-class curriculum right here in southern West Virginia, when we have the ability to learn culinary arts in a multi-million-dollar kitchen designed to help students learn and explore, but most importantly, that helps prepare them for the future growth and the opportunities that they can have, we must be steadfast and resolute in taking and making sure that everybody makes the most of that opportunity. And at Tech, we always talk about engineering, but again, through the hands of Chef Devin Noor and Chef Casey, we are engineering successful culinarians. So if you'd like to learn more about the culinary program at WVU Tech, please visit www.nrradio.com for additional information about Chef Devin and the program, but also look at how you can help build Our Communiversity today for a brighter southern West Virginia tomorrow.
You've been listening to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a production of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Communiversity partner, Southern Communications in Beckley. For more on this program and contact information, visit our website at wwnrradio.com.